Hello, my name is Jim Bennett. I'm the director of the National Center for Religious Freedom Education here at RFI, and happy to be joined today by JB Meury. JB, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
First of all, thank you for having me here today. It's been a wonderful experience. I'm currently a junior at the George Washington University. I'm studying economics and finance. Originally, I'm from Columbus, Ohio, though.
Okay, great. We enjoyed meeting JB here recently. It was one of our programs. And we talked about religious freedom and this explore, embrace, express paradigm, if you remember that. What is the climate on campus? There at GW, say as much as you want, or as little as you want, of course, but do you find that the majority of your fellow students, your peers, are they welcoming to conversations from a faith perspective? Are you meeting hostilities? What's going on right now?
So what I've found, I'm Catholic, so there's a great Catholic organization on campus that fosters debate and the exchange of ideas. I found personally, talking to people one-on-one, they're generally receptive to hearing people out. It doesn't necessarily mean they'll agree to it. I have definitely seen instances of people being disapproving or looking down upon people of faith, or just the idea of God in general, which is something that's just so foundational to our society.
And one of the things we talked about yesterday, of course, was that religious freedom is never really safe until it's both protected in law and embraced by society. So thus, any culture that's constantly legislating or litigating in an attempt to try to protect this finds that eventually it has to sort of educate the public to the benefits of religious freedom, to how it protects human dignity. Do you think that's something that, the average student at your institution or your peers nationally or even around the world, as you have different friends, is that a message that's understood? And if not, how do we get that message out?
I do not think that it's understood. I don't think the idea of religious freedom, of how foundational it is to other rights. It presupposes rights such as free speech, the freedom to do what you want to an extent within the law. It's freedom of thought ultimately. And I don't think that message is explicitly told to anybody until I came here today. Honestly, I haven't heard it since I came here today, which has been a remarkable experience.
Well, we sure enjoyed meeting you and having you not only participate in, but contribute to our program. What would be like 2 or 3 of the takeaways that you took from what you heard in our recent program?
Definitely. First of all, as I said before, how foundational it is. Everything stems from it. Second thing is the idea of education, how important education is for our society to keep going. It's the only way that people are going to be informed to elect good leaders. They're not going to know the difference between good or bad leaders if they're not educated. So those are the 2 main takeaways that I had from today.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Now, your program of study, it was what?
Economics and finance.
Economics and finance. So as we talk to different students and different pre and current professionals, there's some areas where it's obvious how religious freedom is going to impact your work. If you're in policy work, or if you're a lawyer, a legal organization. Can you think of any way, or how would you anticipate integrating like religious freedom principles into economics work?
Into economics work. I mean, if you want to go really extreme and go have government intervention, you could do some sort of subsidization of religious freedom organizations if they do certain things. You could subsidize schools for having courses on religious freedom, or even something extracurricular. Make a club after school or before school or something like that to provide further education for students in middle school, high school, even college, even elementary school. Start as young as possible, because the sooner we get this idea, the sooner that students understand this idea, the sooner that they'll be able to understand other things in the world.
Yeah, and I really put you on the spot, of course, thinking through those, but those are some interesting examples, for sure, and some ideas. Even talking about, a society that is going to perhaps promote faith values or faith perspectives early on. Of course, that's a controversial idea. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about the fact that, there's no such thing as an ideology-free public marketplace of ideas. So if you're going to say certain actors or certain ideas aren't allowed in the public space, essentially that is a form of discrimination as well. So how do we get that message out, and how do we do it in a non-threatening way?
Starts with education. education of ideas. Secularism is that there's no religion. It's not that there is a religion or there's no official religion. Definitions of words, basic definitions of what the state's supposed to do, what the government's supposed to do, what is a regime. It's the ideals behind the government. Politics is the way that we go about governing. It starts with the definitions of what all these words mean, and from the definitions we can have critical thought.
Great. So here's a bit of guesswork on your part. If I was to lengthen the shadow of your life 5 or 10 years into the future, what do you hope to be doing? What might you be doing? It's speculative.
It's very, very speculative. I say it's up to the Lord, whatever He wants me to do. Right now I could go finance, I could go policy, I could go politics, public office, diplomacy, etc. So there's a couple options there, but ultimately I'll do whatever the Lord wants me to do.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing what that is and appreciate you taking the time today, and look forward to future endeavors.
Exactly. It's a pleasure to meet you.
All right. Great.